So yeah, then at that point we're basically turning off for the final. So I'll give you more details on the final presentation. So maybe let me ask you, I mean, I think I would regret when I ask you. So what is it better? Is it better to have the finals week? Because the schedule is so you guys want to have the final exam finals week, or the final exam on the last week, or the last day? And the presentations, so the presentations the last week of classes. So basically, the two options are whether we have the week of finals, the actual exam, or presentations. Or, yeah.
Presentation first.
It doesn't really matter to me, but what do you guys prefer with other finals that you may have in time?
Would it be on like that Thursday?
The presentations, I think the presentations are
Should we
going to be
have finals on
split
finals week
into
or the week before?
2 class periods, because either we're going to make them longer or individual. And I think we're going to make them longer. So yeah. So I think it's definitely going to be 2 class periods. So what do you guys think?
I'd rather have the presentations during the finals period personally.
Yeah, maybe I'll bring, since we're on voting, everybody vote. On voting mode today, then maybe I need to bring a balance. So I'll just do that one. Thursday. Well, then basically think about that, right? And then maybe we'll just put a secret vote, and then I'll let you guys know what the situation is before the break. Any questions? No? Alright. So let's talk about these steps. This is going to undergo oxidative cleavage, then activated charcoal F2. To get the ansidas, ingredients. Sulfonic acid, sulfonic acid, acetonitrile. Good. And ECM. Diazole. Alcoholate. All right, so the question is, what do you hit here? Then, of course, I mean, try to see what's going on at every step, right? In this case, it is not so straightforward when it's oxidative cleavage. You just have to be careful which four carbons you're keeping. and then which one you're filling out. Now this one is basically cyclization reaction, consolidation, and then what you get here, that's the first step. And what I really want to get at here is the following. So all right, so what is the product here? You certainly follow every step. So what is the product here? And now what is the mechanism here? This is the main thing I want to get in this particular case. So in this case, what's the mechanism? PSA is that somehow I cannot find my reference. All right. So here's the paper. Any questions?
When adding the benzyl, sort of the alcohol, why is it selected for the two alcohols with the benzyl chloride iodine? Just that.
Yeah, let me see what you did. Yeah. Yeah, they get really good yield over,
Probably, but just maybe just that stuff.
yeah, from 64% yield, so pretty good. You could come up with something, that would be nice. Yeah, propose a model.
How are we supposed to consider the activated charcoal in the mechanism?
Well, at this point, this is just basically to clean up the reaction, to protect everything and get it, so.
Is that what?
So basically, just to clean up the reaction, you can do the mechanism without charcoal. We wouldn't focus too much on this. It's going to take you. It's a little bit more involved. It's going to be oxidation here. This is just oxidation here. Yeah, I would focus more towards this one. But that's how they start. If you look at the paper, but yeah, the activated charcoal is basically just be able to connect this buffer and get rid of some of the salts, some of the and the acid. Alright, so yeah, so how do we do this selectively? We're getting 64% yield. Probably 30% yield here towards these areas. What are the difference between these two hydroxy groups? Not much, right? They do have some selectivity there. Different compounds, one is up, this one is down. Alright, so then what do you get here? What's this step here?
Seal group at the C1 prime.
You silylate this position, and then
Acetylate.
Reduce to alcohol.
diamond, you reduce the alcohol,
And acetylate.
and then you acetylate, and then you get what's your final product at the end.
Acetyl at
The
the.
acetyl group and then CL at the 3 prime.
Early stuff, right?
Cool.
Wait, why would that
It's-
be acetylated? Because you protect it, don't you?
What's that?
Don't you protect
The
the 3
C
prime
Okay,
alcohol?
sorry.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, technically, we're going to say and then acetylate. Yeah. So, I just told you that it's actually. So yeah, okay. So now what I want to get at is strategies on how you can do chemistry at the ribose and then attach the nucleobase there. As you saw in one of the examples in the homework, right? It's in the case of Lewis acids, and then it's that's how you can direct addition onto this particular position. Right. So in this particular case, you just draw it on. So that's it. Right, so in this particular case, one of the keys is that what you're getting now with the BSA, the TMS triplet, I think you can do this reaction by just using TMS triplet. You get out of this reaction your TMS OAC. So you get rid of the TMS OAC. Right, so how do you do that? And the key here, as you guys already know, you guys know structure of timing, right? So it's your nucleobase. And so how does that happen? You have plenty of TMS groups to take. In this case, we have also TMS triplet. They're all methylsilane groups. So the first step in this particular case is that you're going to silylate your this acetate. You can go like this. You're going to use the TMS triplet. This is probably harder than TMS triplet. So that would probably be generated here. You can silylate from here, whether you go here or here, that would also be okay. Right? The DSA to really push the reaction. Now in this particular case, you get something that looks like this, right? And now, as you guys already saw, so this is the anomeric position in this particular case. So in all of the ribose, the oxyribose, glycose chemistry, there is one carbon that's bound to 2 oxygens. So if you can, if you think about it, this is essentially a hemiacetal, right? So if you have something like this, it's a hemiacetal. Right? So those are unstable for previous. So they can open up. And in this particular case, this is assisted by the oxygen, by the C4 oxygen. So you can imagine that you can get something like this. And you're seeing the similarities, right? The parallels with when you guys did the reaction of fluorescent CO4. Other Lewis acids can be present in this particular case. So and now what's going to happen? Well, this is the so then you get your cation in this particular case. So you kick out, this is where you kick out your OTMS, right? Acetate. TMS acetate, that was the key. So you kick it out, assisted again by this oxygen, by the O4. It's O4 because it's the C1 prime, C2 prime, C4 prime. So it's the oxygen belonging to the C4 prime. Right? So when you open it up, this is the one you break. So in this particular case, this goes in there. And now you have a benzoyl group. So the benzoyl group can actually stabilize this. And that's why the benzoyl group is used very commonly because you generate this carbocation. Does that make sense? So two things occur in this case. Is that you're locking the position from the bottom side, and also in this case with the benzoyl group, you're generating a very stable carbocation. It's silidine, right? So it's stabilized by the aromatic group. So in this case, you have your, and now you can have your nucleobase. In this case, you get your product. That makes sense? The main idea is this, that I want to cover, the fact that how you can open up this ring. Right? There are enzymatic reactions, enzymatic processes that take advantage, right? So whenever you see, for instance, base excision repair or mechanisms, biological mechanisms where you get rid of a nucleobase, right? They're facilitated by the fact that this is that you can do this type of chemistry, right? So that's one of the ideas. So thinking about reactivity, chemically and also when you look at a biochemical path. But that's the idea here. In this case, we want to sometimes we want to modify your nucleobase first. It's easier than having your nucleobase present. So in this case, you already know you have a very acidic proton here with your product, so you have to deal with that as well if you want to modify the ribose. Are there any questions with this? No? So, what do you get if you treat this with PSA, MSOTF, and this. Yes.
There's a methyl on that, right?
Okay. The other one is the Eurosip. All right. So one thing that I want to get you to think about in this particular case is, of course, this is adding a pyrimidine ring. You can also have purines, but you have to protect the nucleophilic sites, right? Because if you have nucleophiles, then of course, in this case, right, if you have an NH2, that's going to react here. So in this particular case, you have to block your exocyclic amine, you put an acetyl group. Now the problem is this amide internally. So what you have to do is you also have to protect it. So in this case, what you actually start with is with a DPC group, a diphenyl carbamoyl. Right, so that's a DPC group. If you don't protect this NH, this amide, the reaction doesn't occur because this is actually going to attack via O-alkylation, most likely, and enters the cell. So now what occurs if you have BSA, MSTF with this, then you get EPC. So that's your product. Again, the point here is basically the same process, illustrating the same process, but now just throwing more protecting groups. The DPC, the diphenyl carbamoyl, this can follow up with base as well. That's called your DPC. Are there any questions on this? No? Good? Let's see what else. So, let's do the following. One wrong here. Here.
this. Wait, I have a question. Why does the OPZ stay there, but on the other one it changed to an OH? Because are you not having the benzyl group attacking like you did on the last problem? So yeah, you had the,
Oh, but it stays.
so the OPZ stays on there.
Yeah, because in the mechanism, you have your benzene. So let's say that this is your nucleophase. This goes back here, right? So, did I not draw it?
No, you kind of just jumped to OH. So is it the
Oh.
TVAF then that's
So I
getting rid
think
of
it's
that?
because, yeah.
Okay.
That particularly. Even though the TVAP thing related with ammonia, I mean, in that particular case, the benzoyl group fell off. But no, it's typically it stays.
Okay,
Yeah, and then in this case, you have to.
okay.
Yeah, so these attacks, and then you regenerate your benzoyl.
So when you use TVAP, it's gonna knock off that group, but it's also gonna knock off the protected group on the C3 prime
In that
end?
particular case, somehow it fell off, but typically it doesn't.
Okay,
I think they did it in situ, and that's why.
okay,
But typically, the benzoyl group stays on. So you have to use base to
to get rid of
get
that,
it. Get rid of it. Yeah.
okay.
Okay, so then, let's see, the methanol and ammonia. Okay, so what's the mechanism here? So in this particular case, same strategy, so to get to here, right, your chemistry and here. So what is the property? And what are they using? There's a couple of strategies to put purine in place. Let's take a few minutes and then mechanism here. What's the mechanism? Let's focus on this.
I just had a quick question about the APC. So when you start off with whatever base that is, do you just add DPC to get into that, or do you have to buy a starting reagent with the DPC on it?
No, typically if you start with guanine or guanosine, so if you want to protect guanine or guanosine. Guanine is a complete rock. You have the ribose. The typical procedure would be TMS chloride in excess, and then acetic chloride, then methanol. And then in the second step, you do EPC chloride. So those will be the steps, right? So yeah, maybe we're going into this one, or finishing this one. So what's going on here? The question was basically how to put on the DPC group selectively. It's not that selective. It's pretty. Yeah, nucleic acid chemistry is very atom inefficient. So it's not very green. So that's the downside. But you just have to deal with it because of so many nucleophilic sites, pretty compact site, a molecule. So, all right. So what is going on in the first step?
Protection.
Yeah, protection of which position?
C3.
So TMS chloride, this is at in excess. So TMS chloride, what does that do? If you have just guanosine with TMS chloride, what do you get? OTMS, 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 right, so you add TMS chloride in excess, let it stir. And the reason is because you want to block every nucleophilic site other than the nitrogen. So why doesn't the nitrogen get silylated? Because the nitrogen silicon bond is not as, it's pretty labile. Right? So oxygen silicon bonds are they stay on pretty good, but nitrogen silicon bond doesn't stay on. So then you silylate basically every position. The next step, you got your acetic chloride. So then this, everybody got that? Then you just acetic. And then you add methanol. Basically, you have to do it cool. Then methanol, this is, all of these bonds are very, the TMS group is very labile. So if you even take an NMR and your chloroform is pretty old, it'll start deprotecting the TMS groups. So in this case, you want to deprotect the TMS groups, you add some methanol, right? What the methanol is going to attack, or water, right? And now you have your acetylated guanosine. Does that make sense? So once you have your acetylated guanosine, if you are incredibly careful and somewhat lucky, you can do this reaction in a way that the diphenyl carbamyl chloride go there. Does that make sense? Then that's how you put with the acid chloride. And that's how you put on your DPC group. The real issue here is that if you don't protect these sites, typically you have to silylate or block these sites to put the DPC group. Otherwise, the DPC group can also react with the OHs. So you have to be careful at this step. Any questions? But again, the point here is you have to deal with, you have to take into consideration all the nucleophilic positions, the acidic positions. In this case, even though this didn't look like a nucleophile, you do have to protect it so that, for instance, you can add it to your rivals. Any questions? That was off topic. Not off topic. All right. So what you get here? What you product? It's a method. So what's your product here in the first?
Protected.
You're just adding your purine, right? Into here. So, okay, so what do you do next?
So isn't a main group added to an chlorine list?
Now, in this particular case, was the ammonia, so what happens with the ammonia?
Makes an OH table with the CLOs.
So the nucleophilic aromatic substitution, that would be a good guess. They are very careful, they do methanolic ammonia, so they try to decrease in hydrophilicity, they don't add as much, they do it at room temperature. So yes.
I just have a quick question.
Yeah.
On step one, so first, why is it that specific nitrogen that attacks the carbon between the two oxygens? And then second, wouldn't TMS, if that was in excess, attach to each of the benzoyl like carbonyls?
The TMS?
Yeah, because like, is it in excess then?
Sure.
You know, I don't know. Do we have to like get rid of it then? Because I feel like it would attach to each of the carbons.
No, this is the mechanism that we just described there.
Yeah.
Right, so
Why does the TMS not protect quality?
because it's just that's the structure, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I'm just wondering if it adds to each of those carbonyl groups.
But even if it adds, or even if you get it to go here, nothing's gonna happen, it's just gonna fall.
It's just gonna fall off.
I mean, it's not
Just adds
stable,
and
right?
fall off. Yeah.
I mean, the only reason this is attacking here
Yeah.
is because it's assisted by this.
Okay.
Take it off.
And then why is it that specific nitrogen that attacks?
This particular case, yeah, typically is protected. I think in this particular case, they did understand very specific conditions
Okay.
to get it to go this way.
Okay.
But typically, you
Typically,
protect
that nitrogen's
the
protected.
exocyclic amine.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, so in this case, the ammonia actually is used to get rid of the benzoyl groups. So no nucleophilic aromatic substitution. And that's good because if you get nucleophilic aromatic substitution, what does that give you? With the OH, right? So if you get that, what is that? Is it any nuclear base? It's called ammonia. So if you did nucleophilic aromatic substitution, if you were to heat this on their ammonia, you probably get it, may be able to get it to go towards this scope.
And it would still knock off the benzyl groups.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that would happen is probably you get rid of this first. Then the second thing is nucleophilic aromatic substitution. Now this doesn't occur because they do it at room temperature, you probably have to heat it up or do a little bit more strenuous conditions. And then what is this? Is this an nuclear base? Now what is the base pair interaction now? Then you have a donor, acceptor, donor. Right? So donor, acceptor, donor. So you're changing the pattern. So in this case, it doesn't happen. This is exactly what they wanted to avoid, just because they want to eventually get to one of them, right? So now the question is, this is here. So what is the mechanism going from here to there? Any ideas?
The beta mercaptoethanol takes off the chloride.
Alright, so what's the mechanism?
Well, chlorine's a good leading group now, isn't it? So you can
Right, chlorine is a leading group. So it's now you can do your nucleophilic aromatic substitution.
so the oxygen would attack, wouldn't it? On like that, your dial, I don't know what to call it.
Maybe what's the mechanism?
Beta mercaptoethanol.
You can propose something here. Any ideas?
So does the OME take the hydrogen off the hydroxyl group? The O.
Okay, so let's start there. So the OME, yeah, sodium methoxide takes, if you have a beta mercaptoethanol, if you have a strong base, so which one is more acidic? What are the pKs? What's the pKs of an alcohol? 16. And pK of a thiol?
5.
Lower. Lower than 16? What is it?
15, say 12.
Or like 10. That's a significantly more acidic. So which one do you protonate first?
The thiol.
The thiol is more acidic. So I would say that maybe you start with that. Any questions? Alright, so let's go to the next exercise. I'll give you the reference in a little bit once I find it right now. And in developing sequencing technologies and other types of targets, you do want to sometimes put a nucleobases where you're altering the donor and acceptor. All right, so it's chloride. What you get?
So this is it off.
Oh,
This gets, so that's guanine, right? Product of this is guanine, and guanine looks like
Good.
this. So, yeah, our carbonyl somehow, I imagine it's from this guy, but do you know what I'm saying?
What do you get?
Mhm.
Okay, what do you get in this case? I was not sure that the problem can do it all.
Is A supposed to be adenosine or what is A?
A is adenosine.
Okay.
preference for this.
Oh.
Alright, so what are the products here?
Protected, it doesn't seem. Acetylation.
Okay, let me give you a few references. Okay. Now look at these references when you have a chance. Hopefully the next page. Alright, so what is the outcome here? What do you get? So everybody knows what deep chloride is? What would it be? Silane, silicon, yes, contains silicon.
All the alcohols are protected.
Alright, yeah, you guys, so it's tetraisopropyl. That's a lot. That's it. It's a group to protect the 5' 3' position. Right? So what is the product here?
Is it because it's so big that it doesn't protect the spores from
The 4'.
So there's 3 times and 5 times.
You take advantage of the fact that
That's my goal. Is it because the steroids doesn't have 2 crowd?
so primary versus secondary. The primary tends to react first. It's in 2 types, and then intramolecular cycloaddition. So you get the this particular field, you get. Does that make sense? So you block, this is called the isopropyl. Right, so you block the 5' 3' position so that you can do chemistry at what position? 2'. 2' position. So what type of chemistry do you do at the 2' position? Oxidation, basically very much like PCC, Jones oxidation, Moffat. Okay, and then what?
Grignard methylation.
Hmm?
Grignard
Is it
methylation.
Grignard? So what does a Grignard do?
Makes the methyl,
So that?
makes the methyl nucleophile
Ethane,
carbonyl carbon.
choose which position?
Oh, 2'.
The 2' position. And you get which diastereomere? The arabino or the ribo?
What's that mean again?
What does that mean? It means that it is the ribo, it comes from ribose. So the sugar, this conformation is the ribose. The arabino is what with the OH now is off, the ethylene. Now your H is here. So this is the ribose and the arabinose. So which one do you get? So get this
Didn't you get both?
with the methyl group, you can have this or right of that. So which one?
Maybe the second one, because it's not aesthetically hindered.
Which one is not a
The
stereo?
ribonomes or
Which one? So you're thinking that because of the stagnancia. So the attacks from this side, your there's magnesium bromide comes from the bottom side and then kicks out the. That's one, the OH. Or the methyl comes from here because it's hindered, and then you end up with the ribo. Right, so in this particular case, I don't think they get a mixture, they just get one compound, and it's the ribo. So attack on top face. Any questions? So you do HF, and what do you get? You protect your silane, your tips, and then in this particular case, you get, what did I just say? That you have next row. All right, so one thing, so how many equivalents of the methyl magnesium bromide do you have to add? What do you think? I don't know what they did, you can check on the paper what they did, but I would imagine that. So the question is, do you have any acidic protons in here? Right, so what's the structure of adenosine? So is this acidic? determine a Grignard, it is probably going to deprotonate. But a PK or something like this is what? What's the PK of a primary amines, you guys remember? Around 35. So it will probably, if you don't do it correctly, you have to do a temperature, so you can deprotonate here. Remember that acid-base reactions are orders of magnitude faster than nucleophilic additions, right? So there is a competition. There's really no competition between any acidic proton, the Grignard, the methyl lithium. So if you wanted to abolish that, you do have to clear with two equivalents. So one equivalent to the protonate, the second equivalent to go here. Or just do it on the kinetic control where this just attacks it.
So when we're like this exam, should we be really specific about like equivalence if it's necessary? Yeah.
I mean, if it's for instance, if you're doing something like this, doesn't really matter. If you're doing something like this, doesn't matter. If you're doing something like this, it's going to matter.
Yeah.
And if you're doing something like what we did at the extra credit last time,
Yeah.
it did matter. You allocated. So I'll give you guys that extra credit and I'll make it quiz. All right. Any questions? As far as any of these?
Wait,
So
sorry, can you say why does equivalence matter one more time?
Yeah, because if you just had one equivalent, let's say that you had one equivalent here. Then the question is, what is this one equivalent going to do? Is it going to deprotonate or is it going to add?
That's it.
And so most likely, because this is relatively acidic, I mean, particularly this is a very strong base. If you have other weaker nucleophile, then you probably not deprotonate, it can attack here directly. If you do sodium borohydride doesn't directly. But methyl magnesium bromide can deprotonate here and can add. So then you need the second equivalent, one equivalent to deprotonate, most likely, second equivalent to attack. A is adenine, is the nucleotide. And then A here in this context just means adenosine. Ado or ado. Right, any questions? Okay, so the last thing I want to cover today is certainly look up this, particularly towards next class where we're going to start looking at how oligonucleotides can be modified for therapeutic applications. You can look at some of these, how oligonucleotides trigger, how they're delivered in the cell. I think it's a pretty nice one. How the oligonucleotides, the delivery of drugs is a big issue. So, what strategies are being used to deliver these oligonucleotides? And then also the mechanism by which the oligonucleotides are therapeutic. So, how they trigger, whether it's protein, how they inhibit protein expression by triggering mRNA degradation. Those are the things you can. This one is particularly nice, and it's pretty nice. Any questions? No, these are good. All right. So, are there any questions on what we discussed last time about the electrophilic aromatic substitution of the nucleobases? No. On the nucleophilic aromatic, on the very I give you aromatic substitution. On the one that we covered last time, that if you have cycling, HNO3, this is what we discussed last time. So what do you get? Nitration. You guys look up this. Again, you guys the reference. Well, I think I gave you the DOI, so there was some confusion, at least from a couple of you. So this was from UNC Journal of Organic Chemistry, 2014, 29, 15, 61, 016. But I mean, they're introducing a fluorophore into DNA. So that's a nice strategy. You can have this fluorophore at a particular specific sites are incorporate what their strategy was. Well, the main thing that I want to cover here is, so is it clear why you get one over the other? You guys looked over this last time? Yes? All right. So, okay, so in the rest of the time, then you take a sheet of paper and put your names on it. This is for another extra credit for the quiz. What is this? Yeah, yes, maybe I made it extra long or something.
Can I borrow a piece of paper? Thank you. And a pencil. Because I'm deficient.
Or maybe let's just change it. No, because then you have to be protected. It's the same. HNO3, comma, H2 is so the question is, what is the product? So obviously, what I'm looking for here is, you're going to do a nitration, going to the nitration. You're going to nitrate what positions? Either that one in point to it, C2 or C8. So which one?
C8.
C8, okay. But then the question, really what I'm looking for, if you put the C8, I'll give you half a point. But if you have to really, you have to justify why. Any questions? What am I asking? You have to put your name on it. Make sure to circle the answers of your resonance structures that lead you to. And remember that if you get the max points on the quiz, right, there is no extra credit added. Right? The max is the max. All right, 2 more minutes. All right, so as the collection goes.
Just draw residence structures.
I did,
Yeah.
for the first part.
All right, so don't forget about the quiz next Thursday. Yeah.
Will there be reagents and mechanisms as usual?
Yeah, some structure, some mechanisms.
Cool.
Because more emphasized towards reagents, what they do, and strategy.